All right, once again, I record all the meetings, and when you miss something, you ask me or whatever. When you miss something, you can just find my YouTube channel. Oh, I just sent the email, right? So you can find my YouTube channel, and there are all the meetings downloaded. So if you miss something, please use it. It's a free, it's a free technology. All right, and yes, YouTube, and I have one more thing, but it's not for everyone. It's an individual thing. So okay, that's it. Oh, we have a Kyle. Kyle, are there? Probably not yet. Kyle, are you there? Okay. This got an accident. It's a problem. Okay. Oof, not good. All right. So, everyone's ready? So please make sure your audio, video, everything's all right to go, and say yes. Thank you, Tinsley, Noah, Madison, Adam. Great. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Okay. The last time, we talked about a couple of papers. These papers about the immediate level of improve the jobs. Okay. How to improve the job market. Okay. So this time that was something like an economist job. Okay. Okay. Economist purpose. And this time we want to talk about corporate venture capital. Just say CVC. Okay. And real options. So corporate venture capital and real option, two concepts. These concepts are exactly strategist focus, okay, approach. So these are exactly corporate strategist. Okay, they use a lot in their strategy. Okay, so we will talk about it. Corporate venture capital, very interesting topic, and real option too. Okay. So corporate venture capital is a phenomenon. Real option is a theory. Okay. So we are combine these two concepts in this paper. Okay. So I talked about your understanding level just a little bit with Aidan, and Aidan says, his understanding is about 0 to 10, scale, about 7. It's great. It's great. Probably the last time the discussions have a lot. Okay, so let me ask this: how about you? Your understanding level 0 to 10. What is? How do you evaluate your understanding? 0 to 10. 10 is perfectly understand. Wow, great, great. Look at this. 6, 5, 6, 3. Okay, it is improving. Nice, nice. Okay. So sometimes academic papers are very helpful, very informative for us. Not always. Okay. So now I just wanna you have a chance to look at academic papers. Okay. Because you will have a situation that you should communicate with others on these topics. Okay. Especially in your when you when you go up in your organizational hierarchy in your future job. Okay. So let's talk about it. Okay, let's see. So corporate venture capital and real option. What is a corporate venture capital? Anyone? Please.
Is it for investments that allow investors to make limited risk investments, like at the early stage?
All right, great. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you so much. Okay. So CVC, corporate venture capital, is investment, right? Capital investment. That means you purchase the stock, okay, of what? Early stage startups. Early stage startups. Okay, so you purchase the stock of early stage startups. When these startups grow up, you can sell the stocks. Then you have a capital gains. This is exactly the same as what we talked about, the venture capitalist. Okay? Venture capitalist is a financial institutions, financial investors. Okay? But corporate venture capital, from the name of it, from the name, okay, it is done by what? Corporations. Corporations. Okay? Big companies like Amazon, they do a lot of okay, CVC. And Pfizer, they do a lot of CVC. They invest in small startups. Okay? Because CVC is done by corporations. Think about that. Big companies. They want to have more benefits from their investment. Venture capitalists just focus on what? Capital gains, money. Okay? But corporate venture capitalists, they want to have some benefits, some side benefits, something like a technology spin-offs. Okay? So they pursue corporations, corporate investors, they pursue capital gains and also what? Technological benefits too. Okay? Right, great. Thank you so much, actually. And real option, what is it? Real option. Anyone, please? Real option, what is it?
Real option as in an opportunity to make a return.
Okay, make a return. Yes, it's a investment strategy. Thank you, Tinsley. Thank you, Tinsley. Investment strategy. So it is essential. It is sometimes useful to make more returns. But there is very specific characteristics in our real options. So what is the real option based on your reading? Real option, what is it? Thank you, Tinsley. The core idea of real option. Anyone, please? Please go ahead. What is a real option? No? Okay. Please, Aidan, any idea? What's the real option?
Is it kind of like how like companies interact with each other and like making decisions?
All right, making decisions. Okay. So it's a one way to make decisions. Real option is exactly like that. Okay. But real option has a very special characteristics. Real option is a multiple staging decision making. Okay. Multiple staging decision making. That means usually when you make any decisions, you just have one-time decision making. Yes or no, go. Okay? Something like that. But real options have multiple stage. Okay? For example, two stages. For the first stage, you can just have like something very small things. Okay? Do things like this. Okay? Then you can see the next time you go ahead for a more official, more greater, or what the irreversible, okay, decisions. So think about that. If you have just one-time decision making, okay, you cannot reverse this decision making. But you have multiple decision making. You have the opportunity. It's a benefit. Okay? Multiple decision makings. Then you can reduce your mistake. Okay. So think about that. Real options. Something like your date and marriage. Okay. So you meet someone, okay, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. You date with him or her. Okay. This is the first decision making. Okay. I'm gonna meet. I'm gonna meet. Okay. With him or her. Okay. This is first decision making. Then the next decision is what? So I'm gonna marry with her or him. This is the second stage, right? Second stage decision making. So multiple stage decision making is a real options. Okay, real options. So why corporate venture capital can be a real option? This is all right. It's great. So look at this. So questions, same questions. You already talked about these questions the last time. Okay? So what is the story about? Okay, please share the story with your team. Help each other to better understand the paper. Okay, and discuss how a real option approach contributes to achieve competitive advantage. Okay? Competitive advantage, doing better than others. Okay? Reduce cost reduction strategy, and increase product differentiation strategy, better product. Okay? So I'm gonna create. Let me check this. Leanna says, is it the right to make a business decision? Yes, real option is a business decisions. Okay? But 2 times or 3 times or 4 times, multiple decision making that reduce your mistakes, the downside of your decision making. Okay, this is a real option. Real option. It is really useful, right? So I used a lot of times real options in my ordinary life too. Okay, when I cannot make a solely decision, what are you gonna do? Defer the decision. But in any chance, I still hold that opportunity. So, with small investment, hold that investment opportunity, but defer the irreversible decisions. Okay, bigger decisions. All right, great, Rihanna, thank you. What is the story about? Okay, so please talk about these two questions. Okay, so I'm gonna create your breakout rooms. What? 6 rooms and whatever. 15 minutes. All right, 15 minutes. You meet with your teammates and talk about these two questions. Try to understand better about the paper as much as you can. Okay? Please go ahead. Meet with your team. All right, welcome back. Welcome back. What's your meeting? What's good? All right, let's see. Yes. Okay, great. So let's talk about the two questions, right? So first question, what is the story about? Please share the story with your team. Okay. Anyone? Oh, anyone in team six? Team six. Team six? Anyone in team six? Please tell us what your team was talking about. Please go ahead. What is the story about? Please share the story with your team. Team six? Anyone in team six? Please go ahead.
Well, we talked a little bit about how the positively or how capital gains and intrinsic values are positively correlated, and those two things can create technology spillovers for the venture capitalists. So they'll more rely on their money in those ways.
All right, great, Andrew. Thank you so much, Andrew. Okay. So team six was talking about correlations. Okay. So usually academic papers are talking about correlations. So basically, regression is also correlations. Correlations, basically in the nature. Okay. All right, great. Anyone in team six? Any other comments? Okay, team five. Team five. Anyone in team five, please tell us what we're talking about.
For our story section, we kind of talked a little bit about how startups have like different options, kind of with the real options theory, that kind of helps them determine if they need like capital venture or corporate venture capitalism or not, and then kind of how that correlates in helping like research and development and pipelines and stuff like that.
Okay, great. Okay, Aiden, thank you. Team five, great. So it is a good point. Think about the startups. Actually, corporate investors have a real options. Right? They make a small and very experimental investment at the first stage in the startups. Okay. Then they just see what's going on in these startups. Okay, if this startup is a really great, okay, it has a great technology, then what are you gonna do? Buy it. Okay, buy it. Huh? Right? This is the story about this way. And I can say startups have multiple time decision making. Startups, okay, they they receive some investment. Okay, they make some decisions in the first stage, and then in the next stage they can make different stages. Okay, so this is the real option. Okay, multiple period decision making. Usually, the first stage and the earliest stage, your investment, your decisions are very small, experimental. Okay, in the following stages, you make a more of a greater, okay, official or irreversible decisions. This is a real option perspective. Great, great. All right, team four. Anyone in team four, please tell us.
We also focused a lot on how intrinsic values and capital gains have a positive result, but we talked a lot more about the limitations in general and just how intrinsic values are really hard to directly observe and how like some key variables aren't directly observable. And we also talked a little bit about tech spillovers and just what they are and yeah.
Nice, nice. It seems that your understanding level is great. Okay, so you're talking about two papers at the same time. It's great. Great. Thank you, Rihanna. Okay. Oh, team four actually Kyle has some accents. Okay, so that's why you cannot see Kyle these days. Okay? But he will be back. Okay? So this is pretty much about story. Corporate venture capital is working like a real options. Okay, so look at this. First thing, corporate venture capital, startups, small companies. They have multiple financing sources. They can have money from bank. They can have money from what? Internal financing. They just use their own money. Or they can use capitalists, independent venture capitalists, and CVC corporations. So CVC is one of the financing sources of startup. CVC corporations, corporate investors provide what? Capital, money, and complementary assets, like resources. Startups with money, capital gain, and technological benefits, technology spillovers. Then, real options. Again, real options is a multiple stage decision making. The date, dating, the marriage. Okay? So the first stage, small and experimental investment to hold that opportunity, but differ the important decisions. Okay? In the second stage, you can make the important decisions. Okay? So these are real options. Okay? So, based on these two concepts, this paper is just combine these two concepts. CVC as a real options. Think about that corporate investors. I'm a corporate investor. Okay? Then the problem is I'm not sure. I don't have 100% of information about startups. It's a problem. I'm not sure that startup is a really great one. Then what I'm gonna do? The first stage, okay, I'm gonna make very small equity investment or something like that. 1 million, 2 million. Okay, experimenting equity investment. Then I become what? Stockholders. Then I can have more information about the startups. Okay, at the first stage, very small investment. Okay, then I will see what's going on in this technological fields, external environments, and also in startups. Then in the second stage, okay, okay, now it's time to decide something like, okay, that technology is really great. Then I'm gonna buy this company. Okay, or okay, I'm gonna license this technology, something like that. Think about it. Acquisitions, license, they are not reversible. Okay? If they make decisions, they cannot undo, they cannot do that. That's why we need a real options, CVC, to have more information. Okay? This is, think about it, initiation. In the first stage, if you choose a CVC, you can choose other types of strategy, acquisition, licensing, R&D alliances. Okay? But if you choose a CVC, okay, then you have a second stage decision making. You have another CVC or R&D alliances, acquisition, licensing. But if you choose at the first stage, if you choose these things, this strategy, that's it. It's done. Okay? Your decision making done. No more decisions. Okay? This is the framework of CVC as a real options. So this is same thing. It's a research setting. I wanna test these things. Test stage 1 and 2. Okay? And then these are my hypotheses. So think about it. If I am I know very, very well about this field, okay, this technology field. I'm 100% sure. Okay. Then I don't need to do CVC. I can just buy the company. I just license that company, right? Okay. But usually I'm not. Okay. It's the same thing. Look at this. Firms possessing weaker scientific capabilities. That means I don't know very well this field. Then what am I gonna do? Make CVC. I wanna make more time. I wanna have more time to invest in this project. So CVC is something like defer the important decisions, real options. Okay, relative to licensing, acquisition, and final decisions. Okay? So if I don't know very well, then I will make CVC investment rather than final decisions, including licensing, acquisition, something like that. The next hypothesis, same thing. Firms assessing distant technologies. Distant technology means far. That is not my field. Okay, right? That means what? I don't know very well. Then I need more information. In this situation, I'm gonna do what? CVC. To have more time, to have more information relative to other trades. Okay. Hypothesis 2, firms focusing their R&D effort on late-stage technologies are more likely to make CVC investment. Okay. Let's not talk about this hypothesis. It's a very, very biotechnology, very pharmaceutical, industry specific. So if it can be confused. It can confuse. Then hypothesis 3 is about the second stage. The second stage. Okay? In the second stage, okay, you already made CVC investment, right? Okay. So when low technological uncertainty is combined with the high valuation of portfolio firms underlying technology. Oh, in the second stage, it's time to decision making. Okay. Then, technological uncertainty is lower. And portfolio firms value higher. That's great. That's great. Okay. Right? Uncertainty is resolved. Value is great, startups. Then what I'm gonna do? Yes, I'm gonna do very important decision making. I'm gonna do acquisitions or I'm gonna do license. The final decision. Okay, it's great. Then this is the second stage. Okay. So these are my hypotheses. To test hypotheses, I use some data. Okay. 597 investor external technology partner diaries involved with 58 pharmaceutical companies and 385 biotechnology companies. Why pharmaceutical? Why biotechnology? Pharmaceutical companies are usually big, huge, and corporate investors. Biotechnology companies, they need a lot of resources. Very small research-based startups. So usually these companies, okay, are investees. Okay, investees. Okay, startups, and these are investors. Okay. And then there are some variables, dependent variable. Solve hazard of CVC. Solve hazard of CVC. Just same thing, the probability that you have CVC rather than acquisitions or license. Okay? So exactly the same thing. Probability of CVC. Okay? And in the stage 2, solve hazard of license post CVC. The probability of you're having license in the second stage. These are your dependent variables. I'm not going to replicate independent variables in this time. Okay, your independent variables, we talked about what in the hypothesis. Okay? Scientific capabilities, the ratio of number of scientific papers. So more scientific papers, more scientific knowledge. We assume like that. And partner firm, if a partner firm has a patent in area that has new to corporate investor, that means new technology, distant technology. So this variable is to test the second hypothesis. Okay? Then pipeline pressures. Okay? But we're not going to talk about this. Okay, look at this. Again, once again, there are tons of different types of regressions. You don't need to care about it. Okay? But you need to look at dependent and independent variables. Dependent variable is what? In this model, we just focus on model 5. Okay? All right, model 5. So your dependent variable is first stage. In the first stage, the probability of you choosing CVC, okay, CVC, rather than acquisition or licensing. Okay, then invest capability negative, okay, and significant. There's no star in this table, but in the text probably there can be some discussion about the significance level. Okay, so it may have some stars over there. So negative and significant. That means scientific capability high, then the probability of CVC low. Right? Opposite. It is consistent with my hypothesis. Right? Investor partner technological distance, positive and significant. Positive and significant. That means high distance, low distance. Okay. Then more CVC. Okay. More distance, more uncertainty, more CVC rather than acquisition or licensing, which are not reversible decisions. Okay. And then the second stage, look at this, model 7. The dependent variable is the second stage, but probability of licensing after initial CVC investment. Okay? So probability of licensing after the initial CVC investment was made, post CVC. Then look at this, in actions, value of partners technology. So value of startup and technological uncertainty in action, okay, multiply in action, then it's a negative and past. Negative and past. So the very last hypothesis, which is about in the second stage, is a support. Okay. So technological uncertainty low, startups value high, okay, low, high. These are hypotheses. So negative means negative interaction means okay, uncertainty low, startups value high. Okay, then this is a negative significant action. So the last hypothesis is this is all story about the paper. Okay. What else? Lowest check. You don't need to care. So, based on these findings, are we better off having a real option perspective instead? Yes. Real option is a benefit. Intuitively, if you have only one time opportunity of decision making, you don't have any chance to reduce your mistake. You cannot reduce the downside of the first decision making. But if you have a real option perspective, multiple decision making, then you can have a chance of reducing your mistake, downside of your initial decisions. Make sense? Then managers and policymakers may need to perceive how different types of strategy interact with each other. Yes. Okay. So we talked about CVC, right? And licensing, acquisitions. We want to talk about these things in with the textbook too. Okay. So these types of strategy, actually, these strategies are intermingled, interactive, corporations, corporate strategies. Okay? Strategies always think about the possibility of each mode of strategy. Which one is better? CVC? Which one is better? Acquisition or what? Something like that. Okay? Licensing? So these are implications. All right. Is it better? Is I done better? Okay. All right. Then let's move. Second question. Any question, comment about the story of the paper? Okay. Discuss how a real option approach contributes to achieve competitive advantage, reduce cost, and increase product differentiation. The second question. So what did you talk about with your team? Please, team 3. Anyone in team 3, please tell us.
We talked a little bit about how by buying like new machinery or a new factory, you can buy more efficient equipment, which can help reduce costs, and you can produce either more or at a lower cost.
Okay, so probably this team is talking about an example that in which the real option approach can be applied. Okay? So when you buy a new machine, it's a big investment. Okay? Big investment. Then what are you gonna do? You're gonna reduce your risk. Then you make the very first investment, small investment, something like lease, rent the machine. Then you can see how this machine is working. Then, if you're sure about this machine, then you can buy it, you can pay for it. Okay? This is one example of real option approach. So, when you buy in this way a new machine, probably you can reduce costs. Okay? So, if you reduce cost, it means you have better competitive advantage. Okay? Great, great. Anyone in team 3? Any other comment? All right, team 2. What did you talk about? Please tell us the second question. Anyone in team 2?
We talked about how different types of investments, like if you have a more efficient investment, it can lead to a competitive advantage, just because it would reduce your costs. And also, like if you invest in research and development and make your product a little bit better, then that would also be a competitive advantage over any competitors in your industry.
All right, great, Willie. Thank you so much. Okay. So team 2 was talking about, actually, this is a fundamental idea of this class. Okay. Investment, generally speaking, any investment. Okay. In investment, you buy machinery. Okay. Or you make a CVC, or you do R&D, something like that. In any investment, if you do reduce cost, okay, reduce cost, increase product differentiation, better product, then of course you are doing better than others, competitive advantage. This is a framework we are use again and again and again in this course. Okay. Great. All right, then anyone in team 2, any other comments? Okay, team 1. Anyone in team 1, please tell us. Team 1, anyone?
Our group just talked about how understanding CVC investments in general would give you a competitive advantage of understanding how it works for your business, compared to like the previous little insight and research that had been done on it, and how it can give you that competitive advantage to help reduce cost, and just understanding it not just for future technologies, but for success more broadly.
Okay, great. Thank you. So CVC and can create complete page because CVC work as a real option. Better decision making. Okay. Reduce cost, increase productive transactions. Great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So this is pretty much about the SMJ paper. Okay. And then I have the second paper, but very briefly look at what is this paper about. So look at this. I just want to look at the this mother. I'm not gonna talk about seeking numbers and something like that. Look at this. I just want to talk about this. Yeah. So corporate investors. We talked about corporate investors, right? Okay. Then, actually, many people was talking about corporate investment, CVC, but they usually talk about this one. What corporate investors create? What the value of CVC investment? They have one type of value. Some people say if these people talk about capital gains, just capital gains. Okay? And some people was talking about the intrinsic values, something like the technology spillovers. They just focus on that. Okay? So I'm saying, hey guys, in my perspective, we need to combine this capital gains and intrinsic values. Okay, why? Because this can be correlated. Okay, so if we just separately talk about just one side of value of cities investment, it can mislead. So my suggestion is this: the value is a function of capital gains and intrinsic values. Okay, intrinsic values is divided by 2. Okay. Right. Proprietary technological assets and non-proprietary technical assets. Okay. So this to test this, my empirical analysis is following. That's it. That's pretty much about this thing. Okay. So I'm not gonna deeply talk about this paper. Okay. So we talk about the papers. Okay. So CVC and real option. Now you understand. Oh, this is a CVC. This is a real option. Let me ask. Okay. What is your understanding level at this point? Please let me know. 0 to 10, yes. Wow. 8. 7. It's amazing. Yes. I did my job. Okay, great. Okay. So now, any question, any comment about CVC and real options? Okay. So everybody's ready to go. Okay. So for the next time, we are supposed to talk about what? Oh, chapter 1. So next Monday, right? Next Monday, chapter 1. Okay. Chapter 1, you are supposed to read chapter 1, okay, of course. Then be ready to take a warm-up quiz at the beginning of the class. Okay? 2 or 8. 7 or 8. Well, how many questions? Well, not many. True or false questions. Okay? And also, you're supposed to submit your chapter case, okay? Before the class. Okay? Through Canvas. Okay? So chapter case, read the paper, read the chapter, and be ready to take one quiz. That's it. Okay? Because you already read, you try to understand very well advanced things, academic papers, more difficult ones. Okay? When you read the textbook, it will be very, very easy. Very, very easy. Okay? All right, let's try. Okay. So, please, anyone, any question, comments before we go?
What questions are we answering again for the case part of it? Like, where are those at in the textbook?
In the textbook, there's no specifically. Yeah, in your textbook, case is page 3 or 4, 2 pages. But let me have a textbook here. So, 3 or 4, learning from mistakes. Chapter 1, learning from mistakes. And there are two questions. What actions could Miss McKelney, blah, blah. And second question is, did Lenzen do something? Okay. So, these two questions. All right. Handle is smile. Great. Any other question, comment? So, everyone is ready to go? So, please say yes. All right, great. You did a great job. Okay, you did a great discussion today. So I'm gonna see you on Monday. Okay, great job, great job. Okay, I love it. I'll see you on Monday. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Kennedy, Rehana. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. Mm-hmm.